Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. My name is Eric. Guys, do me a favor as you step into the call. Do me a favor, drop your city and state, like, share, and tag. I'm actually broadcasting on a couple of different platforms, two different businesses at the same time. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make a point. So um, I'm actually on our platform via you can't hear me? Okay. What about now? Can you hear me? Oh, you're deaf. So you need to read my lips. Hey buddy, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on, guys. Do me a favor, drop your city and state, like, share, and tag. Like I said before, I am broadcasting to two different businesses right now. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I want to make a statement. So if I'm low, do me a favor. Some audio is jacked. Yeah. So I cannot. Okay. So yeah, D saying the same thing that my audio is low. So I got to go out and come back in. That's all I can do. So I'll be right back. Maybe that Bluetooth was connected. I'm gonna get this thing together. All right, D, pop back on. All right, I was having some technical difficulty on one platform. Um, can you hear me? Okay, I think I was connected to my Bluetooth. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I think I was connected to my Bluetooth before. So, grand rising to you. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. Guys, do me a favor, drop your city and state, like, share, and tag. I am broadcasting to our national business builders on our Facebook page and our YouTube via StreamYard, but I'm also broadcasting to TikTok on our blank spot page. And the topic that I want to share with you guys is relevant to each platform. So once again, as you jump on, do me a favor, drop your city and state, like, share, and tag. As you see, I am a generational wealth creator. I'm a generational wealth creator. I'm a financial strategist. I'm a business owner, entrepreneur. Um, and I've been sharing financial education and wealth building strategies for the last almost 7 years. Why am I telling you this? Well, it's because on my platforms, on my social media platforms, I don't follow per se everybody, but I do pay attention to certain financial strategists and financial gurus. Okay, and in saying that, that being said, it came across me. It hit my timeline. It hit my business page, my National Business Builders page timeline. And it was a famous financial strategist. It was a famous financial strategist that mentioned that, and I quote, okay, and you guys can go back and look it up if you want, but I quote, the dumbest thing that you can do to ruin your chances of building financial wealth or of chances of building wealth is to finance a vehicle. Hold on, let me read it because I want to read this. I want this to be clear. I don't want any mistakes about what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. Okay. And I want to get y'all's take on it. I want to get y'all's take on it. So everybody's not going to agree with me or that individual, and that is okay. But I want to get your take on what this financial guru said. Because we live in a cancel society. Y'all know that, right? We live in a cancel society. We live in a society and a community and a culture that believes in canceling. We don't believe in we don't believe in swiping up or swiping right, swiping next, swiping down to refresh. We don't believe in that. We believe in canceling. But not all people get canceled for what they say and what they do. So there's some people out there that are going to say some things that you may or may not agree with. And you have to make a decision whether you're going to ignore them, or you're going to and keep on moving, or you're going to um, try to report them and try to get them canceled, or you're going to go ahead and try to get some different information, or possibly some information that's going to be valuable to you, or going to be able to apply to you. So let me read this because I have to search this. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. So, guys, do me a favor as you jump on. Do me a favor, drop your city and state. Drop your city and state. Like, share, and tag. I am super excited because as I talk about this, it makes a lot of sense to me. But as I talk about this, it makes me think about it makes me think about this gentleman that said what he said and the way he delivered it. Now, there is some truth in what he said. However, I don't necessarily agree with how he said it, and I don't think his listeners or his viewers did either. So I'm reading verbatim from his website, and I don't want to give him any more. I don't want to give him any more power, or any more clout, or any more publicity than he already has. Because I don't know if he did this based off of a publicity stunt, or he did this based off of how he actually feels. I've heard him talk before, and he's very rough around the edges. But because he is who he is, because of the status that he has, he's been able to do and say what he wanted to say, and people kind of go along with it. But he said, taking on a car payment is one of the dumbest things people do to destroy their chances of building wealth. Then he goes on to say that was the first statement. That was his first statement. I'll read it again. I didn't say this. The blank spot didn't say it. National Business Builders didn't say it. It says taking on a car payment is one of the dumbest things people can do or people do to destroy their chances of building wealth. Then he goes on to say, if you've already made this mistake, you can turn things around, sell it, pay it off ASAP, and don't ever do it again. A secure future matters more than a fancy car. Now, I went to the comments. Immediately, because I wanted to see what people were going to say. Once again, we live in a cancel society, a society that loves to cancel people. People say things that folks don't like. People do things that people don't like. And what happens? We cancel them. We don't just ignore them. We don't swipe up, swipe right, swipe left. We don't do that. We cancel them. As a matter of fact, especially on social media, we'll go as far as to report them. Okay? We'll go as far as to report them. Here's the thing. I teach financial education. I've been sharing information on wealth building strategies for some time now. Okay? And for someone to say that is the dumbest thing to do or the easiest way to ruin your chances of building wealth, I want y'all to understand something. When you finance anything, when you finance anything, whether it be for your personal use or your business use, when you finance anything, it is about cash flow and it's about the interest rates. If your credit is already in a bad way, then of course your interest rates are going to be higher. Now, some people don't have the cash to go out and buy a used car or a reliable used vehicle. Bottom line. So I don't believe he was talking about me. And he may have not been talking about many of you. But I think what he probably should have considered before he said that was buying a fancy car, financing a fancy car, financing a car that you cannot, I knew it was coming. Financing a fancy car, something that you don't need because things like that lose value. I think if he had said that, I think that would have been more acceptable in my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to read some of the comments. This is in response to Sandy. Financial Peace University makes a lot of sense to you, not to me. Financing is a huge loss of money. It can be. I know what he meant. I know what he meant. And we're going to have this conversation. I know what he meant. So here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. It's not about what he said. I'm a financial strategist as well. And since you said Financial Peace University, yes, it's Dave Ramsey, okay? I didn't want to give him any more because I don't know if it was a publicity stunt or not. Here's the thing. This is what everybody needs to know about business. It really is how we talk to people. The funny part about it is he has a huge following. He has a huge following, and he's known for being very rude and obnoxious. He is. I do agree with some of his comments and some of his statements. However, I don't agree with a lot of his tactics. Here it is in 2022, and people are still living paycheck to paycheck. When I first heard about this gentleman, everybody was in an uproar about the Financial Peace University. Not going to talk bad about his program. What I am going to say that there are some holes in some of the things that he says. People have to first understand the importance of changing and shifting our mindsets. That is it. That's it. There's not going to be any type of financial peace if we don't change our mindset. This particular personality has made their bones off of people who believe in the Bible. This particular individual has made their bones with guilting people and them trying to understand that debt is a curse. And it is. Debt is a curse. However, look across the country. The median income is less than $40,000, right below $40,000. Now, if somebody has questionable credit, it's because of one of three things. They either don't make enough money to pay their bills, and anybody who doesn't agree or wants to argue or go back and forth, it's very simple for you to just get off the call, okay? But there's one of three things why people have questionable credit. They don't have enough money to pay their bills. They don't understand how credit works, which means that they're going to make decisions based off of their desires versus what they need. Or we know sometimes that bad things happen to good people. That's the gist of it. But before we start jabbing and saying things that is going to make people get into an uproar, let's try some education. Okay? Let's try some education. So I'm not that guy. I'm not famous. I'm not well known. And I don't want to use his comments or the comment that he made to get famous. I could care less about fame. But what I do know is people. And I do know that everybody wants to be free. Everybody wants to be free. Okay? Everybody desires to be free. Everybody desires to live a better life financially. I just recently started a series of videos that's going to be talking about some steps to creating financial freedom. And for those of you who are interested, if you follow along, it's going to make a lot of sense. Okay? It's going to make a lot of sense. It's amazing to me, though. This is the part that's really amazing to me. The part that's really amazing to me is that There's so many people with platforms. There's so many people with followers. There's so many people with the ability to share information, but they keep their mouths shut until they get on other people's platforms. That's what happens. That's the society that we live in. We live in a cancel society. Now, I don't believe that he should be canceled. I believe that he should consider that everybody's at different levels. That's something that I had to learn, especially coming out of the military. I had to learn that everybody's at a different level and everybody learns differently. To tell somebody who grew up living paycheck to paycheck not to do this, not to do that, or that they're stupid or that they're dumb, or that's the dumbest thing that somebody can do, that is putting everybody in a box. Once again, bad things happen to good people. And for the most part, people just want to live a better life. Some people don't know how. If you, and this is just a recommendation from me as a business owner to other business owners, if you have a product or a service and you want somebody to take heed to it or pay attention to it, calling somebody dumb is not going to probably be the best way to get their attention. It might get their attention, but in a negative way. So I had to immediately go to the comments, and I ran to the comments, and I saw all these people all upset and stirred up saying, hey, how could you say this? How could you say that? You know, this, and this. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this is a huge publicity stunt. He has to know that his terminology and his verbiage is going to get some people upset. He's got to know that. He's a controversial personality. Then I said, what if I were to say that? What about less than 1% of his following? What if I had said that? In the infancy stages of our business, even though our business has been around for about 6 years, in the infancy stages of our business, trying to get customers, trying to get people to understand the importance of building financial education and trusting us, what if I had said that? What if I had verbalized that comment, that statement just like that? I wonder how many people would have canceled me. I wonder how tarnished our business would be. See, financial education starts with understanding. And contrary to popular belief, it only has this much to do with budgeting. It only has this much to do with saving. And as a matter of fact, it has nothing to do with saving. The only thing that you really should be saving is your emergency fund. That's really it. The only thing that, and I'm going to let y'all go back and forth. Y'all do y'all thing. I'm learning to ignore stuff. I'm not going to even go with that. The only thing that we really should be saving is our emergency fund. And the only thing that I agree with one of the comments that he said was that your emergency fund should be liquid. It should be something that you can access. However, how can you feel the need to package people in a group? I just don't get that part. They say that when you get offended, it's good, because when you get offended, that gives you the opportunity to learn. It's a teachable moment for me seeing what he said, seeing what he wrote. Whether he wrote it or not, whether his publicist wrote it, his marketing team wrote it, whatever the case, he signed off on it. I felt offended, not for me personally. I felt offended for the people who are out there living paycheck to paycheck, who are struggling financially, whose backs are up against the wall. I felt offended for them. I felt offended for the people who work hard. I scrolled down and then I read a little bit further, and it said something about he was offering on Veterans Day, he was offering 1,000 veterans his Peace University program for free. And as I was riding up to the store, and I told my wife, I said, I wouldn't take it if you gave it to me. Because at the end of the day, who are you going to follow? No, we shouldn't want people to lie to us. Absolutely. I don't have that type of thin skin, but I know I deal with people like that all the time who have thin skin. We shouldn't want people to lie to us, but there's levels to this thing. And if we're going to build a network and build a community, We have to be mindful of how we say things. It's not as much as what we say. It's, a lot of times it is how we say it. And I'm a firm believer in telling the truth. If anybody has heard me speak, if you've heard my tone, I'm a firm believer of telling the truth. But to just blatantly say that the dumbest thing that you can, no, stop. Just stop and shut up for a minute. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm saying just stop and shut up. You take a single parent. You take a single parent who is one income, who has children that have to go back and forth to daycare, who's struggling financially, not only not making enough money, because people are quick to come on social media and say what you should and shouldn't be doing. But you take that person who knows nothing about finances, who only knows what they've been taught, and they're in survival mode, and they're doing the best that they can with what they have, and they have an opportunity to get a nicer vehicle so they can get back and forth to work, so they can get their kids back and forth to daycare, so they can get back and forth to the grocery store, to doctor's appointments and things like that. They're going to take it. Now, I do agree that we should, if we want some toys, I agree that we should learn how to build some wealth so we can have our assets pay for those toys. That's a whole different conversation. A whole different conversation, y'all. That's conversation like up here, a level up here. But we got to understand that people are down here when we're talking about personal finances. They're down at this level. And just like a baby doesn't have any teeth, they can't eat, they can't chew food, they can't chew meat. It's the same way with people who are trying to learn how to build their finances. Generational wealth has nothing to do with a job. Generational wealth has nothing to do with saving money. But it does have everything to do with getting started. I've heard this so many times that savers are losers. Putting your money in the bank is not the best option. However, don't just say that ain't the best option and then not give people other options. See, I've learned a long time ago that we got to be responsible sharers of information. And I'm using this as a learning moment. So I went to the comments and I ran straight to the comments. D, you saw me, right? I ran straight to the comments because I wanted to see how many people was going to sign off on this BS that he was saying and how he was saying it. In the first couple of comments, people weren't signing off. They weren't signing off. They were sounding off. They were upset. And then what I saw was what I was waiting for. Somebody was co-signing what he was saying. There was this guy that was mansplaining to some of these women about what he actually meant. Now, how can I know what he actually meant? Grand Rising, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. If you're just getting on, my name is Eric, and I am broadcasting on both of our businesses at the same time. One on StreamYard, one on TikTok. Don't know how this thing is going to work out, but I'm going to see how it works, okay? I have never in my life seen so many comments from one comment. So this one guy was sitting there trying to mansplain, saying, hey, that's not what he meant. You got to understand, blah, blah, blah. It makes sense. I'm thinking to myself, how do we know what he meant? Did you talk to him? Did you ask him? Once again, I've never met him in person. I've seen some of his shows. I've seen some of his rhetoric. He gave me some Rush Limbaugh vibes. That's what he gave me. He gave me some Rush. Now listen, I need y'all to understand something coming from where I'm from. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am from the country. I'm right in the middle of redneck land. Right in the sticks. Right in the middle. If you go out of our neighborhood and make a right, you're getting on the interstate to go downtown. If you make a left, you're going to the country. Right. Yeah. I'm surrounded by country people. I'm surrounded by backwood people. So I know what it looks like. He was giving off some Rush Limbaugh vibes. Anybody know Rush Limbaugh? That's the vibes he was giving off. He was giving off some country redneck vibes. And I know where he's from. He's from Tennessee. And people's personality is who they are. But I'm going to tell you something. if that individual had any concern about being canceled, he wouldn't have said it. And as I continued to read down further, I saw more comments saying, hey, he makes sense. Hey, he's right. See, whether he's right or wrong or indifferent, I can't go out there and tell a baby to eat steak. Can't do it. I can't tell a child who never rode a bike, go learn how to ride that bike. See, I want you to buy my product and I want you to buy my service. So I'm gonna shame you and I'm gonna call you names and I'm gonna make you feel bad. I'm gonna guilt you. See, now that's guilting. That's the definition of guilting somebody into buying their stuff. What makes it worse is I hear people say, you know what? If you wanna share how good your product is versus somebody else's, just stand next to them and you do your thing and let people, you do your thing, they do their thing, and let people choose. You got to be careful who you're following, man. We're following people because they are famous, because they're well known. I see the comments kind of stopped in the back and forth kind of stopped in the comments. I was reading, y'all. I was reading. Here's the thing. Everybody makes mistakes. But most of the mistakes that are made in our lives as human beings, as adults, is from the information that we do not have, which means we're misinformed. I remember reading some of the information that he had that said, hey, you need to create your emergency fund. You need to create your emergency fund. Got to create an emergency fund. By any means necessary. Sell all your stuff. That's what he said. Sell all your stuff. Have a garage sale. Go out there, sell it all. Go in your closet. Stuff you don't need, go sell it. You need $1,000. Go sell it. That's what he said. Same person that you tell them to go sell their stuff, they mentally like, why am I selling my stuff? The same person that you tell them to sell their stuff, they got a job. Why not educate them on the tax system? Why not educate them on the tax system? Why not share with them how to legally lower their taxes on their job by correctly filling out their W-4? Why not help them to create a plan to where they can start to minimize their expenses and look around the house to see some of the things they really don't need, not giving up everything, but some of the things they don't need? Why not, consider that? Because that's not his platform. So if you guys are just getting here, I am talking about a Facebook comment that I saw last night that came across my business page. And it talked about, and I'm going to read it again. It is Dave Ramsey. Okay. It's Dave Ramsey. And Dave Ramsey was saying, taking on a car payment is one of the dumbest things people do to destroy their chances of building wealth. And he goes on to say, if you've already made this mistake, you can turn things around, sell it, pay it off ASAP, and never do it again. Here is what I know. There's two types of credit. I want y'all to understand something. I'll break this thing down to you. There's two types of credit. Two types of debt, excuse me. There's revolving debt, which is credit card debt, right? Revolving debt is credit card debt. And then there's installment debt, like a car loan or a mortgage. Most people don't understand how credit works. So let's talk about that for a minute. There's 5 factors to your credit report. 5 factors. Okay, and things are changing right now the way they report, but there's 5 factors to your credit report. There's payment history, there's credit utilization, there's length of credit history, there's new credit, and there's credit mix. Okay? Payment history, credit utilization, that's your debt to income ratio. Length of credit history, there is new credit and credit mixture. Okay? Now, I've seen people walk into a dealership with a 734, 750 credit score and still had to have somebody co-sign for them to get a vehicle because they only had one type of credit, one type of debt, and that was revolving debt. They didn't have any installment debt. And because they didn't have an installment debt, the interest rate was going to be so high. So you need to have that balance. So for a lot of people, getting a financing a vehicle is going to get them closer to getting a home. It didn't take any rocket science. I didn't go to school to learn that. I read, I understood, I applied. He always telling people things like that. Yeah, I know. So having a car loan, financing a vehicle, is some of the ways that most people are going to get a mortgage or be able to qualify for mortgage because they have to have that mixture of credit. What matters is how high your interest rate is on that thing that you're financing. That's what really matters. If you're able to finance it for 6 months and it gives you a credit history and you're able to pay it off, then it may be best that you pay it off. It's a personal understanding of how you're going to do it with your finances. That's personal. Everybody believes differently. But you cannot continue to put everybody into one box. They did that to us in high school. Y'all remember? They put us in a box in high school, and everybody learned differently. They had the teacher sitting up front, and she was just calling out people's names, right? And they gave you tests. And she taught information, and she taught through by the lesson plan. Most of them taught by the lesson plan. As I look back on it, a lot of them wasn't teachers. They had some better teachers back then. But as I look back on it, a lot of them wasn't teachers. They were robots. They taught by a lesson plan. Every once in a while, they went outside of the lesson plan. But everything was paced. And if you were the student that couldn't keep up, you fell back. They put people in the box. They started in school putting us in a box. And big business and businesses continue to do the same thing. But it's okay to disagree with his delivery or some of the things that he says. But when I ran to the comments, I could see people were just eating it up. But he wasn't responding. You know why? Because that was him stirring the pot. He's a controversial dude. He was stirring the pot. And he did exactly what he wanted to do. To include me coming on here saying something about it and planting more seeds. You know what I'm saying? Planting more seeds because it's still publicity. It's publicity. But I came on here to share with you that you have to be careful who you follow. Got to be careful who you follow. Everybody that you're following don't have your best interest at heart. Buy my book. Buy my class. Buy my program. And I'm going to guarantee that you're going to get financial peace. It's still a mindset shift. Most financial gurus, most financial strategists are not ready or willing to work with people one-on-one. Yes. So, since you mentioned that, Sandy, I have something to say about that. When he first came out with this great idea of having financial peace, when I first was introduced to the idea of what he was talking about, he was talking about having yard sales, garage sales, cleaning your closet out, cleaning your garage out, and getting that $1,000. Meanwhile, I was in a program that was talking about how to build wealth with your own money. I was being taught how to build financial wealth with my own money by learning how to lower my taxes, learning tax strategies. And I was thinking about all the people that was following this person, and I'm thinking to myself, man, y'all following this guy like he can't be wrong. But I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm thinking, man, when are you gonna tell people to correctly fill out their W-4? When are you gonna tell people to lower the taxes on their job and stop getting refunds? When are you gonna tell people that a refund is actually hurting you and learn how to correctly fill that W-4 out? And watch this, and start a home-based business so you can get the same deductions that he's getting. He ain't never said that, but people still follow him because he got into the churches, y'all. Southern Baptist, below the belt. He got into the churches and he started talking about debt's a curse. Be the lender and not to borrow. He started quoting scripture. What about Ecclesiastes when it talks about investing in different ventures and multiplying your money? I'm just saying. We hope he got into people's minds through their personal beliefs. And it worked. It worked, y'all. Because he has a whole following. He's got a whole following. Meanwhile, we're back over here talking about that, even Satan knows the scriptures. Meanwhile, we were all here talking about, hey, man, you know what? It's great to go get an emergency fund. It's great to sell all your stuff and go get an emergency fund, but you're going to still go back to that job. You're going to still overpay taxes. You still don't have a tax strategy to lower your taxes. You're still not, you're still getting a refund. You're still struggling to live paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, he's talking about getting out of debt. And I'm saying, okay, what's your plan once you get out of debt? What you going to do with that money? You got to have a plan for that money when you get out of debt. You got to have a plan right now. Where are you going to invest that money? Are you going to, you still got to have some passive income. You still got to have some residual income. You still got to have something that's going to... See, listen, I did a video yesterday. Series 1 of 8 yesterday. Many of y'all ain't seen it because y'all not following us on National Business Builders. And the reason why I'm on this platform right here on TikTok is because I want you guys to see what I'm talking about on National Business Builders. Okay? I'm live right now on my Facebook page. I'm live right now on YouTube. See, I did a video yesterday, series 1, it says, hey, everybody's got 2 objectives in life. Everybody's got 2 financial objectives. Everyone. The first financial objective is to take care of the right now, today. We have to make enough money today so that when we are no longer able to work, we have to take care of today so we can make sure we got the lights on, food on the table, roof over our head, clothes on our back. That's our current lifestyle. But we also have to take care of our future lifestyle. That means that we have to make enough money today so that when we're no longer able to work, no longer want to work, or our job has fired us or told us we got to retire, that we'll have enough money. And the problem is that we have been drilled into believing that social insecurity, I said that social insecurity is going to help us to get to a better place. It don't exist. It ain't there. We're in debt. The government owes the people through Social Security. You don't believe it, go look it up. We thought that if we had a pension that we would be good. And there's some people that's still on a pension program. But what happens if you don't have enough money working for you? See, if you keep on withdrawing and not depositing, when you get ready to withdraw, the money's going to be gone. So they said, well, you know what? We're going to switch it to a 401k. 401k is cool, right? You can't retire with no 401k. The average 401k over a period of 30 years is about $140,000. And with the inflation going up right now, it ain't going up. With the inflation going up right now, that means that everything that you invested your 401k into is doing this. So your money ain't multiplying. Your money really ain't even adding. And if you're lucky, it's going to divide. But right now, it's subtracting. So those systems are no longer working. Those systems are no longer working, y'all. So what do? You got to put a plan and a strategy in place. And that was the first video I did. So if y'all want to see that video, if y'all want to hear it, y'all want to see how passionate I feel and how it sounded when I did the video, go to National BB LLP. That's our TikTok. Go to National BB LLP and check that video out and be ready for the series. All I need is 100 likes and I'm going to drop the next one. But he didn't tell people. I didn't see him telling people that, you see, they said yesterday on CNN that the average monthly 401k check, $356. He's not telling people and didn't tell people how to legally lower their taxes by correcting the W-4 on their job. You know why? It's not because he don't know that. It's because when people get ready to share information, there's only certain things they want to be responsible for sharing. They don't want to be responsible for all that stuff. They don't want to be responsible for that. So now you got to be careful who you follow. Because it's the person that you follow and ready to take responsibility for the information that they're sharing. Are they responsible sharers of information? I'm just saying, man. We're quick to label people as being knowledgeable and as being gurus. But how helpful are these individuals really being? That's all I'm saying. I don't know much. But I'm going to share with you what I know. Think about that. As I pack these orders out, think about that. The first step, ladies and gentlemen, to wealth building. This is wealth building 101. So everybody want to get the game for free? I'm finna give it to you for free. This is on the free right now. The first step to wealth building is to learn how to lower your taxes legally, morally, and ethically to the legal lowest limit. That's the first step to wealth building. Because if you look at all the wealthy people out there, whether they're multimillionaires or whether they're billionaires, they lowered their taxes to the legal lowest limit. You see how everybody was in an uproar back in 2016 when Trump was sitting there in front of Clinton and they were sitting there talking about the taxes and all that stuff. And he said he didn't pay taxes because he was smart. Nah, he didn't. He did not pay taxes. He only paid what he owed. He learned how to legally lower his taxes to the legal lowest limit. Let's stop getting mad, man, and start getting on it. We got to stop getting mad and start understanding what we got to do as Americans in the wealthiest country in the world that tells us that we can be wealthy. I don't need nobody in this country to tell me I can be wealthy. My God told me that I already got the wealth. I just got to go out there and do what I need to do to collect it. But once again, it's all about who you follow. I promise you, it is about who you're following. It's about what you're hearing. It's about how selective we are. We have selective hearing. Malele, we have selective hearing. We hear what we want to hear. So when somebody says, hey, you know what? When Eric said, hey, you know what? I want you to consider correctly filling out your W-4 so you can keep more of your money. All you heard was the IRS going to get me. But see, Dave and other people like that, other people like Dave, Susie Orman, a lot of the other financial strategists and gurus, they don't have time to sit down and explain to you why it's important to legally lower your taxes to the legal lowest limit. They'd rather just go out there and tell you you'll have a garage sale and get $1,000 for the emergency fund. Woo! Sad, but it's true. And I'm going to pull a Dave on y'all, man. I'm going to pull a Dave on y'all. For those of you who are looking for the information saying, hey, you know, well, what do I do? Where do I get started? You got to connect with me because it is a business. It's a business, but it's going to be well worth it. See, I'm a responsible sharer of information. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and tell you all of these things and then not walk you through it. But it's an agreement. I'm reading. Yeah. Man. It's going to stop in a minute, man. It's going to stop in a minute. I'm learning though, y'all. I'm learning not to get emotional when I read stuff, man, because I can start whole conversations off of some of the stuff that's being posted. See, here's the reason why hardworking Americans can't build wealth. Y'all ready? You ready, D? Do you know why hardworking Americans can't build wealth? Because they're too busy working for somebody else. They can't build wealth for themselves because they're too busy building wealth for somebody else. And when somebody like me said, hey, you know what, you got to take a break so you can understand this information, they say I ain't got time. They say I don't have time to learn the stuff that I need to learn to build wealth. I got to go to work. I don't have time. Hey, Eric, I don't want to invest in your program. I just want you to give it to me. And then when I ask you about it, I want you to tell me everything. But I don't have time to invest in your program because I'm too busy working. That's what they say. How do I know they said it? Because I hear it all the time. I don't want to turn this into how I feel about helping people. Can't stop me because it's favor. They can't stop me because favor ain't fair. That's why. I got favor. That's why they can't stop me. It ain't the me they can't stop. It's what's inside me that they can't stop. Favor ain't fair. That's why though. The reason why they're looking at what you're doing, they can't stop you from making your money. It ain't just about the making of the money. That's the other mindset part that we have to shift our thinking about. I've made a lot of money in my lifetime, but I just started learning how to keep money at age 42. I made a lot of money as a young man, but I didn't know how to keep any of it. The whole idea is changing our mindset and shifting our mindset about how money works. That is the thing. It is a thing. Most people that are in business, I'm just being honest with y'all, man. Let me be honest. Most people in business, they really don't want to help. They just want to get your money. That's the truth. It's sad, but it's true. Most people that are in business don't want to help. They just want to get your money. even realize it until they got your money. Honey. Yeah. They come off as helpful because they want to get that invoice to you. They want you to pay that invoice. And once you pay that invoice, you too, young lady, once they pay that invoice, they good. They got you. Every once in a while, somebody will come along and they want to be helpful. They really are genuine and they want to help. Every once in a while. When that happens, you got to take advantage of it. Grand Rising, everybody. Do me a favor. If you're still hanging around, if you haven't done so, drop your city and state. My name is Eric. And I am broadcasting to both of our business platforms right now. The Blank Spot and National Business Builders. National Business Builders is what we talk about business and personal financial education. Why do we talk about that? Because there's a need for it. Tried talking about it on the Blank Spot platform, and people looked at me like I had stole something. They said, hey, this ain't the platform to be talking about that on. All we want to do is make stuff. What they don't understand is making stuff means keeping your money. I love it, man. Hammond, Louisiana. Kennesaw, Georgia. Seattle, Washington. Clarksville, Tennessee. Fredericksburg, Virginia. Middleburg, Florida. That's what's up. We're in Columbia, South Carolina right now. Originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I believe in helping people because somebody helped me. I believe in people not having to start over. Lawrenceville, Georgia, Arizona, because somebody helped me. But we do have to help ourselves. Snellsville, Georgia, Florence, South Carolina. That's it, ladies. It's most of the ladies on here. Keep on dropping them. Keep on dropping. Let me ask y'all a question. And be as honest as you feel like being. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But it's a fact that 80% of working Americans are not meeting their two financial objectives. Heck, most people don't even know what their two financial objectives are. Maryland, I'm not going to mess the city up. People are not meeting their financial objectives. People are living paycheck to paycheck today and have been for some time. And the problem is that it's not that people don't want to stop living paycheck to paycheck. I don't believe that's what it is. I don't. I believe that people are afraid. To change up. The two financial objectives are taking care of your current lifestyle, keeping the lights on, food on the table, a roof over your head, clothes on your back, while simultaneously prepping for your future lifestyle, and that's retirement. Not a silly question. That's an amazing question. You gotta take care of two lifestyles right now while you're working. You have to take care of two lifestyles right now while you're working. And people are not meeting those objectives. It's not because they're not trying, but for the most part, it's because they don't know that they have to do both of those. They're just going blind. Everybody gets up and go to work for two reasons, and that's to make sure they got somewhere to live. Right? When you break it down, that's why. I'm not talking about the people who lie to you and say they go to work because they love it. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who are going to work because they have to. See, here's the thing. if I were able to show you a way that you could do that easier, how many of you would take some time off to learn how to apply these strategies? That's the real question. That's the real question, D. Because see, having these conversations is cool. This gets you excited. It gets you hyped up. It gets you motivated. It inspires you. But then when we get off the call, then guess what? It's a wrap. So Tracy, I'm going to do you just like I do everybody else. Reach out to me. Reach out to me. We have a conversation. I'll tell you what's required. Because a lot of people are ready to do what it takes, but most people are not ready to do what's required. Red Rider, Shiny D. When I saw what that gentleman said, my mouth just dropped to the floor when I saw that. When he said what he said to those people, his followers, his community. So guys, listen. This is his followers he said that to. He called his followers dumb. You know doggone well there's a lot of people that are taking that Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University crap, and they haven't shifted their mindset. There's a lot of them. And yeah, I said crap. I said crap and I meant it. I meant exactly what I said. I know what I said. Just like he said what he said and he knew what he said, I know what I'm saying too. I know exactly what I'm saying. And I'm not calling it crap because it's crap. How you gonna tell me you're gonna give me the recipe to bake a cake, but then don't give me all the ingredients? Or if you're gonna give me the ingredients to bake a cake, but they don't give me all of them, how you gonna do that? I started off with this, man. We live in a cancel society. His followers ain't gonna cancel him after that. Have 4 kids, a new job, 4 months in. I'm trying to shift to provide a better way financially to grow. Well, Tracy, if that's what you want to do, I got a solution for you. But it's gonna start here. Because it's gonna take some work. It ain't gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy, but it's gonna be easier. It's gonna be easier than what you're doing right now. I mean, let's be honest, man. How many of y'all on this call was taught to go to school, make good grades, and get a good job? And you was told that if you got a good job, that you'd be okay. How many of y'all learned about the tax system before y'all started working that good job? Being honest, man. Baby, this time opened up. We opened up. We did. Oh, man. You should have seen me yesterday. Somebody was knocking on the door. 10:25. Think about it, man. Think about it. You want to get a little off? Get off. Hey, listen. I used to get excited. When people say, hey, I'm ready to change my life. I used to really get excited. I used to get excited when people say, hey, yeah, Eric, I'm ready to learn. I used to get excited. I only get excited now about their progress because they got to get started. And a lot of people who say that they're ready to learn, they still got to get started. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this because you're probably gonna do another broadcast on some sublimation. But I appreciate y'all jumping on. If anybody got value in what I shared, if you stayed around long enough to see it, if it made sense to you, hope you got some value in it. Bottom line is, it is about delivery. Um, we live in a cancel society. However, there's always going to be one. There's always going to be one. I just, I don't know what it is, man. I can't stand when people, um, I can't stand when people do certain things, man. I really can't, because for me, for me, um, we gotta do better as a community. But if you found some value in what I shared, if you're interested in learning how to improve your personal finances, if you're interested, first off, I want you to go ahead and go to National BBLLP. National BBLLP. If you don't know what that link is, you can go to our link tree. It's going to be on our link tree. I think it's the third one down. Go to National BBLLP. You can actually follow us on our business building side, business and financial education side. Um, Not going to be talking about a whole bunch of business and financial education on this platform because people just want to make stuff. You know, I don't get it. If listen, guys, as business owners, you can make all the things you want. You can have the best sales day all day long. If you don't understand personal finances, you're just gonna be like everybody else, living paycheck to paycheck. So just think about that. But if you're looking to join up and partner up, reach out to me, Messenger. I'll give you a call. We can connect, set up a timeline to actually get you started, getting your personal finances to a different level. And I take baby steps. Okay. So if you are looking to be in a hurry, this ain't what you want. If you want that, go to Dave Ramsey University, Financial Peace University, whatever, and let him take your money. But if you're looking for somebody who's going to walk you through it, take the time, explain some things to you. I know that was a jab. I shouldn't have did that, but I did. I said what I said. We got to stop following people just because they're famous. we got to stop doing that, man. We really do. It kills me. But anyway, like, share, tag, subscribe. Let me know. Let me know if you're interested in getting together. My name is Eric. Like I always say, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. I will see everybody at the top because there's too many people struggling at the bottom. Peace.